Yes, very nice, Keertan Mataji.
Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and
You have
Krishna's
got a
mercy.
very nice voice also, Mataji. Nice.
I hope to become like sing like Haripriya Mataji and learn the Kartal also, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, you can learn from her. She plays nicely. Yeah.
She's wonderful, Prabhu. She's a wonderful teacher and guide. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so till chapter 2 we have learned about section 2. Till section 2 we have learned. Start try once more. Otherwise it's directly. So till section 2 we have learned. Chapter number 2 till section 2 we have learned. Okay, so few questions are also got. So we'll deal with the question later on after this chapter finishes. Okay. So is my screen visible, Mataji? Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, perfectly, Haribol.
So let's try to start this, this side. So this is chapter number 2, and we have learned. So let me see parts which we have already covered. The link has been posted. So till this we have learned. This section A and B we have done. Jnana, that is the knowledge of the body and soul we have done. So the body and soul knowledge has been done. Now we will start with section number C. That is from here. Okay, so 2.31. Then Kanda will go, then we'll go for the yoga, then still practice. So we'll finish this chapter number 2 with 3 sections. So today's section will be section C, D, and E. So it start. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Okay, so let's start with the section C. Okay, so Kannada. So first section we have seen there was doubt by Arjuna, and the second section B we have seen that Krishna was giving the knowledge of the body and the soul, so mainly the soul knowledge. So this was answer to Arjuna's first query. Arjuna's first query was compassion. So Krishna is giving reason that we are not the body, we are the soul. So there is no need to compassionate for those things. Okay. So first reason we have seen. And now the other reasons of Arjuna for not fighting we'll see, and what Krishna is explaining we'll see. Okay. So Kankanda. So what is the meaning of Kankanda? Fight. For the gain comes for beautiful fighting, and loss comes from not fighting. Okay. So if you will fight, then you are doing your duty. If you are not fighting, then it is kind of loss. Okay. So you should move on with your duty. Okay. So anyone want to chant the sloka?
They can raise their hand, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Chitra Mataji chants all the chapters, all the verses. Chitra Ramaswamy Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Chitra Mataji.
Swadharmam api chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi धर्म्याद्युद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
So Krishna is saying, so come here this side. Okay? Krishna is saying, consider the specific duty. Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principle, and so there is no need for hesitation. So you should fight because Kshatriya dharma is to fight for the religious matter, religious duty. So it is your religious duty to fight because you are a Kshatriya. Okay. So Lord Krishna does not. Uh, so Lord Krishna does not support artificial renunciation and acceptance of sannyasa by Kshatriya. So you should do your duty. Krishna is saying you should do your duty. You cannot leave your duties. Okay, so we'll see other verses also describing the same. So Lord Krishna is saying does not go for the sannyasa. Okay, so artificial renunciation. The word here is used is artificial renunciation. You have not controlled the senses and you are going for sannyasa. That is not true renunciation. This is artificial renunciation. So Krishna is speaking about artificial renunciation. So he does not support artificial renunciation and the acceptance of sannyasa by Kshatriya. So you should do your duty. Okay. And, performing swadharma or discharging specific duty gradually elevates the higher platform. Okay, so that is the heavenly platform. So when we are doing our dharma, swadharma, that is our duty, then gradually able to progress in the spiritual progress in the spiritual platform, to the spiritual platform. Okay, so there are two types of dharma: swadharma and sanatana dharma. Swadharma is for our body. Sanatana dharma, the duty is to our body. Let's try to understand from here. Swadharma are the specific duties we have. So certain duty we have due to our guna, due to our, according to our guna, according to our modes of nature, we have certain duty due to our certain guna. We should do those duty as a matter of duty. Then what will happen? Gradually we will able to progress. So what is Krishna saying? One who is conditioned soul, they will do their specific duties. So conditioned follow this, do their duties, swadharma. Then what happens? So these duties are according to varnashrama dharma. So 4 types of varna, 4 types of ashram. Okay, so according to varnashrama dharma, there are specific duties for a conditioned soul. Okay. And these are considered a stepping stone to the spiritual understanding. So gradually it will elevate the person to the spiritual understanding. Okay, based on the 3 modes. The goal is to progress toward the liberation. Gradually will progress to liberation. And when liberated, then we will become liberated state. Okay. Liberated state means we don't have the bodily concept, we have the spiritual concept. So Swadharma gradually liberate the person to the liberated state. So Swadharma gradually elevate the person to the liberated state. So we should do our Swadharma. So Krishna is saying that we should do our dharma. What is our dharma? We should do. Okay, we should not artificially renunciate. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriya to whom such fighting opportunity come unsought, opening for them the doors of heavenly planet. So if we are doing our dharma, swadharma, then we are doing punya karma. Okay, so then we will be gradually elevated to the spiritual planet, okay, higher planets. If you are not performing a religious duty of fight, then you will certainly incur sin for neglecting your duty. So if you are not doing a duty, you will incur the sin and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So Krishna is looking another reason. Okay. These are like karma kanda. Okay. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So dishonor is you should not incur this dishonor, okay, by not fighting. So people will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. The greatest general who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only. They will not think that you are very compassionate and you are considering these people and you are considering these reasons for not fighting. They will simply think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. If there is any question, you can ask in the after the chapter ends, okay? Or if any specific query, you can ask in the chat box. Okay. In between the chapters, we will take your question at the end. Okay. Yes. So, yes, Mother. You want to chant this? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, your voice is audible. You can chant.
Okay. Avacho vadangscho bohun bodhishanti tabahitaha nindantastabu samarthang tato dukho tarangnukim.
Your enemy will describe you in many. If you permit, I will read. I think Prabhuji, if we go in this way, then because it will take much more time. Because chapter is too long. Second chapter, maybe from third chapter, I will give you chance. Okay, Prabhuji. Your enemy will describe you in many unkind words and score your ability. Okay? It could be what could be more painful for you. So Krishna is giving different reasons. Tarka and Vitarka, so that Arjuna fight. Okay. So either you will be killed on the battlefield and in the heavenly planet. So Krishna is giving the answer to the second question of Arjuna. What was the second question? Can anyone tell me second argument of Arjuna for not fighting? What was the second argument? The chat box you can answer. Yeah. What was the second argument by Arjuna for not fighting? Because sin was the first reason. We have already answered that. Okay, in the previous class. Sin, that you are not his body or soul. So there is no sin in fighting. No, sin was the fourth. Compassion was the first. So fourth, that answer will see the sin answer. What is the second? Second reason for which this is the answer. These slokas are answered. Enjoy the kingdom. Yes, Rajat Mishra, Noita Prabhuji, you are correctly said. Enjoy the kingdom.
The cost of killing relatives.
Yeah, kingdom. So he was telling that Arjuna was telling, with whom I will enjoy this kingdom? My all family members are killed. So with whom I will enjoy the kingdom? So Krishna is giving the answer. So what is he giving? He is giving the answer. Either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planet. So you are a Kshatriya. You are doing your duty according to your mode of nature by under my instruction under my instruction. Then what will happen if you are killed while doing your duty? You will attain the heavenly planet and you will enjoy there. And if you conquer, if you win this war, then enjoy the earthly kingdom. So you will have all the kingdom of the earth. Then you can enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. Okay. So Krishna is giving heaven. Either you will be killed, you will get heavenly planet, or if you win this war, then you will get earthly kingdom. So both way win-win situation for you, Arjuna. So you should fight. Okay. Now, Hare Krishna Mataji. Gita Mataji, have you?
Yes, Mata. Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Mataji. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha jaya jaya tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is saying, Hare Krishna Mataji. Krishna is saying, fight for the sake of fighting. Okay, do not think anything else. Fight for the sake of fighting without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by so doing, you shall never incur the same. So you are doing a duty for the sake of dharma. Okay. Do not think of happiness. Do not think of distress, loss, or gain, victory or defeat. in this way, if you are doing, then you will not indulge in. Okay. Then this was the reason for earthly kingdom. So Krishna Arjuna was saying, with whom I will enjoy. So 2 answers we have seen till now. Okay. Let's see more answers. Okay. Yes. Mataji. Mataji.
ईशा ते विहिता सांख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्म बन्धं प्रहास्यसि.
So Krishna is saying the now this third part start. Third part is Buddhi Yoga, that is Niskam Karma. So how to do the Niskam Karma, that is fight, but without any reaction. So you are fighting, but you won't get any reaction. So how to understand those things? Let's start. Okay. So thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. This is Sankhya Yoga. So by Sankhya Yoga, what is your constituent, and for the body, so body sake, if you are fighting body sake, how to understand. For the body's sake, I have already described. So that is called Sankhya Yoga. Now, listen from me, Arjuna. I will explain it in the terms of working without productive results. That is Buddhi Yoga. Okay. O son of Partha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of birth. So when you are working in the like Niskam Karma, okay, when you are working, but there is no fruits of action, then you won't have bondage to all these works. Okay, so work in this. Okay.
नेहा विक्रमनाशोस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्.
Okay, so let's understand the sloka. In this endeavor, that is abhikarma. So neha abhikarma nasosti. So in this endeavor there is no nasa. Nasa means loss. So in this endeavor, naso, there is no nasa. Neha abhikarma. So neha means nothing, no. Okay. Abhikarma means endeavor. So there is no nasa, there is no loss in this endeavor. Which endeavor? When you are working without result, when you are working without expecting the result. So in this endeavor, there is no nas, there is no diminution, there is no loss. Okay. And swalpa, so even a small endeavor you are doing, is even a small advancement you have, that is never that is never lost, and it will protect you. Trayate mahato bhayat, mahan bhay. Mahato bhayat means mahan bhay. So it will protect you from the mahan bhay. What is that mahan bhay? What is that mahan bhay which is said here? So the meaning will read then. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. A little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. What is that mahan bhay? So if we are progressing in this path, that is spiritual path, then there is a that will protect from the most dangerous type of fear. What is that most dangerous type of fear? Getting sin, passion. The most dangerous type of fear is coming against this world. Okay. So if we are progressing in this path, then it will protect us from the greatest sin. So we won't be coming back to this world. That is the meaning. So if we are coming to this world, that is a fear. Okay. So even if we have this human form of life, and even after getting the human form of life, and we are not doing anything for the liberation, for not coming back for our soul, then that persons are called miser. So we are too much attached to this bodily features only, and we are doing nothing for our soul, then that person is called miser. Okay, he's not utilizing his body properly. So even if some people think that after doing some so one example is there. Okay, so let's try to understand by the example. In the material world, if we are doing something, some degree course, okay, so if we are endeavoring for something, like take an example of MBBS. So MBBS is of 4.5 year course. Okay, so if you are doing MBBS and you have left in the second year, then you won't get the degree. Okay, so if you have read until the second year only, and other year you haven't read, then you won't get the degree. So you won't have the MBA degree. But that is not the case in the spiritual things. So if you have progress to think like 25% you have progressed in the spiritual life, and your death happened, then what will happen? So you will take the body according to the that in the next life, and you will start from that 25%. So there is no loss in this universe. So Krishna is saying, so even small, even 1% you have done anything, that you will start from the 2% in the next life. So if you read Nectar of Devotion, it is written, one line is written very, that devotional life is the progression from the previous life. It is not like that you suddenly become a devotee. You suddenly start doing Gita classes, you suddenly start reading Bhagavad Gita. It is not like that. That start because of your previous life karma. You have done something in the previous life. You have done something previously, and you are starting from that. Okay, very. I have seen so many people. They have very difficulty in reading. They do not read only. They do not have faith in the Bhagavad Gita. They do not have faith in the Krishna. Why they don't have? Because they haven't done earlier any work, any spiritual advancement in that line. And many people are so natural. They will accept very naturally. They will even hear the name of Krishna. They will accept Krishna consciousness like that. So what is the meaning? What is the difference? Because they have done something in their previous life. And now that they are starting from that stage. Okay, so that is the thing. So in this endeavor, in the spiritual life, there is no loss or diminution. A little advancement in this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So you can read it here. Okay. So here, this sloka only. Next sloka you can read. So this same sloka. Okay, man. Hare Krishna.
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दना बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
Okay, so your buddhi should be in the resolute. Your buddhi should be focused. Okay, so Krishna is saying in this, your buddhi, your intelligence should be focused. Okay, so those who are on the path, on this path, that is spiritual path, are resolute in this purpose, and their aim is one. Okay, so those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. So they have their intelligence is fixed on one thing only, that they should progress in the spiritual life. And the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branch. So if your intelligence is irresolute, so you are thinking of many different things, then your intelligence is many branch. Okay, so Krishna is saying the person whose intelligence is fixed on Krishna, their aim is one. Okay, and if your intelligence is not fixed, yeah, then it is many branch. Okay. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery word of the Vedas, okay, which recommends various fruitive activity for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So, what is the meaning of this sloka? So, in the Vedas, Veda is meant for the elevation of the general people. Okay, so they will start from the karma yoga, that you should do this karma, you should follow this regulatory principle, you should do this yajna, you should do this, you should follow this regular principles and all. Then you will get good karma. Then you will elevate, go to heaven. Then you will have a good birth. These things, okay. And gradually, it try to elevate the person to the higher level, so that they can gradually elevate themselves. Okay. But when the Veda didn't, then the Upanishad start. Upanishad is full, then the Upanishad is that is spiritual knowledge. So mainly Vedas are maximum, you will find that Vedas are full of this fruitive activity, so that gradually person who is in the material platform can elevate himself to the higher platform. And then the Upanishads will start, and the Gita is part of the Upanishad only. So Upanishad will start. Upanishad tells about the spiritual knowledge. So gradually, people will elevate themselves to the level of spiritual. Then the spiritual knowledge they will get, and they can go back to they can work with the liberation. They can go back to Yoga. Okay. So what is being written here? So men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery word of the Veda. So they, when the starting of Veda is there, Karma Kanda is there, they get too much attached, and they will do many regulative principles, regulative activities, and many sacrifices they will do, and they will try to attain more power, more material power. They will try to attain. Okay, so like if you do this, you will attain material power. If you do this, you can control the wind. If you do this, you can go in 1 minute. You can go to different places. So like this, many things are there. Many magical things, powers they can get. So they become too much attached to those Vedic teachings only. Okay, so what is written here? Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Veda. This recommend various productive activity for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power, very power, material power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say there is nothing more than this. So they think this is over. Okay, so they become too much attached. They do not want to progress now. Okay. In the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and the material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service of Supreme Lord does not take place. So your mind should be resolute that you are to progress the spiritual path. Vedas deal mainly with the subject matter of three modes of material nature. So Vedas mainly deal with the mode of nature. Okay, and what persons will do so that they can gradually elevate, but they get too much attached to the power, to the good birth, to those things. Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all the duality and from all the anxiety for gain and safety, and be established in the self. So Krishna is saying, elevate yourself from the level of the material modes. Okay, elevate yourself. So do not get too much attached to the Vedas. Okay. Be free from all the duality and all the anxiety for the gain and safety, and be established in the self. What is the self? Self is discuss all purposes, small well can be served by great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purpose of Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose of the Veda. So, what is the purpose of Veda? What is the purpose of Veda? In level 1, we have discussed what is the purpose of Veda. Chat box. What is the purpose of Veda? Yes, speak. What is the purpose of Veda? Self-realization. To know whom. The purpose of Veda is to know whom. Yes. The purpose of Veda is to know Krishna. To know process to know God. Okay, know Krishna. The purpose of Veda to know God. Krishna is saying, as all the purposes, small well can be served by great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purpose of Veda can be served to one who knows the purpose behind it. So, if you know the purpose behind it, if you know that Vedic principles are they will gradually elevate you, so that you know the purpose of Veda. The purpose of Veda is to know Krishna. So, if you know Krishna already, there is no need to read Veda, and there is no need to attach to the flowery words of the Vedas. Okay. The purpose of Veda is to understand Krishna, defining rule and regulation to live in the society and to understand all of this. Yes, anyone?
Do I recite, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mother.
Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalage turbor ma te sangotsva karmani.
Very famous sloka. So let's try to understand this sloka. Okay, many people will quote that. Okay, karma is only worship. You do your karma and that is worship. You do your karma. Whatever karma you are doing, that is your worship. Okay, so you should do your karma. Okay, whatever karma you are doing, do your karma. That is worship. So there is other parts also. So one part is karma. Three things are described here. Okay, so let's try to understand. You have the right to perform your prescribed duties. Prescribed duty is the first thing which is described here. But you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Second thing is fruits of action. So you are not only karta. You are not the only one who is doing the karma. Okay, so you have the right, you have the adhikar of doing the karma. Karmanyavadhikar. So you have the adhikar to do your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Okay, ma phalesu kadachana. Okay, you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activity. So you are not only the cause who is doing these activity. Okay, never consider yourself as only the cause of your activity. These are done under the mood of nature. Okay, the person with under which mode that person will do the work according to that mode. Okay, and never be attached to not doing your duties. Third thing is akarma. Okay, so three things are described there. First thing is do your duty, prescribed duty. So people will consider this thing only. Do your duty. That is the only dharma. That is only worship. Work is worship. Those people are saying that work is worship. Only thing is they read the first line only. Karmanyavadhikar. So you have adhikar of doing karma. That is all. So they think that this is the all. The first line is the only sloka. Second line says, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So whatever action you are doing, do it for the sake of me, because you are not entitled. You are not entitled for the fruits of action. So you are entitled only for doing karma. You are not entitled for the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activity. So whatever cause you are, the result of activities you are having, never consider yourself as the cause. Because let's take an example so that you can understand. So if you are going to give an exam, okay, so you have read too much. So 1 month you have read so nicely, you have prepared, but there are other, and you are going to give exam. So what will be the result of the exam? We don't know. Why we don't know? So maybe there is some rain is there in the way and you are not able to go. Maybe on that day something happens, some other things happen and you are not able to go. Maybe the paper checker who is checking the paper, his mood is so disturbed and he is not giving you marks. So maybe other things are also there. Okay, so you have the right to perform your duty. You have your right to read for the exam. You have the right to give the exam. But result, pass or fail, is not dependent on you. Okay, so never consider yourself the cause of your activity. Okay, never be attached to not doing the your duty. Okay, so akarmani. So if you don't have the duty, do not consider that you don't have to do the duty if you're not if you're not have uh, any proprietorship on the result. Okay, so three things are described. First is the karma is your duty. Second is the you are not attached to the fruits of action. You should not be attached to the fruits of action. Third is even if there is no fruits of action, you should continue doing karma. Okay, three things are there. Yes.
योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध सिद्धयो समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते.
Perform your duty, equip goal, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. So do your duty, and what is the result? Leave the result upon me. Okay, so perform your duty, equip goal. Okay, so if you are not considering the results, then you can be equip goal. You can balance your mind. Okay, so perform your duty, equip goal, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Okay, this is the full picture. So one side is there, one side is there. So it's balance. Keep all abominable activities far distance by devotional service. So if you are doing the devotional, do your devotional service. Then if you are doing the devotional service, then what will happen? All the activities which you should not do, they will automatically get away. Okay, so keep all abominable activities far distance by devotional service. Okay, and in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord those who want to enjoy the fruits of their actions, fruits of their work are miser. So, what is the miser? Those who want to enjoy the fruits of action, they think that they are only worker, so they want to enjoy the fruits of action. Those people are called miser. Okay, so this is the meaning. Okay. A man engaged in the devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reaction even in this life. So if you are not attached to the results, then the results won't affect you. The result will be either punya, either or papa. So if you are not attached to the fruits of action, those reaction will also not affect. Okay, so you are only doing your duty, prescribed duty, and you are not attached to the reaction. Okay, so you are leaving the reaction to the God. So the God, so there will be no reaction also. So what is Krishna saying? A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good or bad reaction. So even good reaction is there, that is punya karma is there, that will also attach into this material body. Even the papa karma is there, that will also attach to the material body. So if you are above these two, good karma or papa karma, then you are not attached, you are not bound to this material world. Okay, so if you are doing the devotional service, every work you are doing, you can transform that work to the devotional service. Okay, if you are attaching Krishna in that work, then that work becomes the devotional service. So every work you are doing, you can transform that work to the devotional service. Then those work won't have any reaction. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. By thus engaging in the devotional service to Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. Krishna is giving an example that previously there were many devotees, there were many rishis, munis are there. They they elevate themselves to the platform of the devotional to the platform of the spiritual by doing the devotional service. So great sages or devotees free themselves from the result of work in this material world by engaging themselves in the devotional service. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all the miseries by going to back of God. And that this is the greatest fear. Okay, so greatest fear is doing nothing to them. By doing the devotional service, they have elevated themselves to the level of spiritual level. Okay. When your intelligence is passed out in the dense forest of illusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard, and that is to be heard. Okay, so you become indifferent. Indifferent meaning those things do not affect you. Okay. When your mind is no longer disturbed by a flowery language of Vedas, and when it is remained fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. Benefit of acting in Buddhi Yoga: freedom from the good and bad reaction. Okay? There is no good reaction, there is no bad reaction because we are doing papa. The freedom from the cycle of birth and death, so you are not coming back. Greatest fear, not coming back to this world. Indifferent to the Vedic ritual, so Vedic ritual won't affect you. So you won't be listening to the Vedic ritual. So the realization of the relationship with Krishna as eternal servitor. So we are servant of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna. So we realize our position and we start acting in that platform. It goes back to the God. So these are the 5 benefits of acting in the Buddhi. Okay. Freedom from good and bad, freedom from birth and death, and Vedic ritual, indifferent from the Vedic ritual, realization of relationship with Krishna, and then go back to God. Go back to God. Okay. Now this section D has been over. Okay, that is now Buddhi Yoga has been over. Now section C, that is Sthit Pragya. Okay, Sthit Pragya. Fight and become fixed in the Krishna consciousness. Let's see what is the meaning of Pragya. So this was the one.
Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya ka bhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthita Dhikim Prabhashita Kimasita Vrajeta Kim.
So Arjuna is asking, what is the symptom of the sthit pragya? How they sit, how they stand, how they walk, how they speak about these things. So how they speak about how they walk, meaning is what are the symptoms of sthit pragya? Sthit pragya means which consciousness you can see here. Okay, what is the meaning of sthit pragya? Oh Krishna, Arjuna said, oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in the transcendence? So the consciousness is merging in transcendence. But sthit pragya, your buddhi, pragya is buddhi. Sthit pragya means your buddhi is fixed. Okay, in Krishna. So if which consciousness is thus merged in the transcendence, that is called sthit pragya. So Arjuna is asking, what is the symptom? How do they speak? Speak. Okay. How do they speak? Meaning, how do they react to the external situations? So how do they speak? Okay. And what is his language? So both are how do they speak and what is his language means how they react to the situation. Okay. Then how does he sit? How do he control the senses? How does he sit means how does he control his senses? And how does he walk means where how does he walk means where does he engage in senses. Okay, so these are the questions. So meaning is what is the symptom of this pragya, how does he speak, how does he sit, and how does he walk. So these are four things which the Arjuna is asking. Is this pragya symptom now? So if you think that you are doing the devotional service, try to correlate yourself with these slokas. So the symptom of the person who is in full consciousness, full Krishna consciousness, those symptoms will resemble, those symptoms are told in these sloka. So try to compare yourself with these sloka and try to see if you are in the pure devotional, full devotional service. These are the symptoms of full person who is in full devotional service. Okay, sthit pragya. So the symptoms, Arjuna is asking symptoms, speech, how does he sit, how does he walk. Okay, so sthit pragya. So symptoms, the meaning I already told you, which is written here. Symptoms is how does he reveal his position? What is the symptom? Speak or language, how does he react to the action of others? Okay, that is speak and language. Then sit, that is mentally when senses are withdrawn from the sense of it, how does he situated, how does he withdraw the senses, and how does he walk with, where he engage in his senses. So these are four questions by Arjuna. In Parampara example, Goswamis are there. So these are the Goswami of Vrindavan. They are the perfect example of it. Okay.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyeva Atmana Tushta Sthita Prajnasta Duchyate.
So who is called as Sthit Pragya? Tadauchyate. Sthit Pragya Tadauchyate. Who is called as Sthit Pragya? Let's see. The blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man give up all variety of sense desire, so if you are giving up, try to correlate with yourself. If you are giving up the all variety of sense desire which arise from the mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be pure transcendental consciousness. That is pragya, so pure transcendental consciousness. If your sense desire, so if you are giving up the all sense desire and your mind is fixed in self, okay, so that is called the symptoms of the pragya. So those persons are called the pragya.
Dukkeshu anudvignamanaga Sukeshu vigatasprigaga Vitaraga bhaya krodaga Sthita dhirmuniruchyate.
So one who is not disturbed in mind. So these are the symptoms of sthit pragya. Okay. So what are the symptoms? What is the speech? What is the language? So let's see. So one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold misery, are elated when there is happiness, and who is free from the what is written below.
Prabhu, it's written who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
This is the meaning. So what is the meaning? These are the symptoms. Krishna is describing the symptoms and the speech, how does it react. Okay.
यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत् प्राप्य शुभाशुभं श्रुतं नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Okay. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in the perfect knowledge. So this pragya, they won't be affected by the evil, they won't be affected by good, they won't be affected by changes. So dualities, the dualities are there, like Sita, Ushna, Man, Apmana, okay, and good, evil. So those things are there. You can see in this figure. So different dualities shown here. So one person who is not affected by those dualities, good or evil, Man, Apman, Sita, Ushna, okay, and Man, Apman, praising, not praising, okay, and praising. So if the person is not attached, then the person is not affected. So those persons are called in the perfect knowledge. Okay. And how does he withdraw the senses? There is example of turtles. Krishna is giving the example of tortoise. Okay. Kurma. So,
यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
how does he withdraw his senses? Okay, so Krishna is giving the example of tortoise. So, like a tortoise withdraw the limbs, when he senses fears. That way, the sthit pragya will withdraw their senses when they see the material activity. So let's see. One who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects, as a tortoise draw its limb when within the self, is firmly fixed in the perfect consciousness. So Krishna is giving the example of kurma, like kurma withdraws his limbs inside. The sthit pragya person will withdraw his senses. Okay, so this is the example of kurma.
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराकारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
The embodied soul may be restricted from enjoyment of higher sense object remains, but seizing some engagement by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in the consciousness. So what is the meaning? Some meaning is there in this. So okay, it is described in the next slide. So go to the next slide and try to understand. Okay. So how does it draw from the sense? So embodied soul is there. The two types we can control our senses in two types. Okay, first is we can restrict our senses. Okay, there is some sweet is there. No, we won't taste that. Bhajan is there, some song is there. No, we won't listen to that song. We won't listen. Some the songs is there, filmy song is there. No, we won't listen to that filmy song. So what we are doing, we are restricting the senses. So this is the first type of restrictions. Okay, so this is called artificially restricting the senses. Okay, so when we do artificial restriction, then what happens? Then fall down. Anytime can fall down can happen. Okay, so if we are restricting our senses artificially, anytime fall down can happen. And second is okay, what we'll do? So we'll attach our senses to something else, something higher, something spiritual. Then what will happen? These small senses will automatically sense attachment will automatically go. Like if you're attaching our, if you're okay, so if you're Krishna Bhajan, if you're Krishna Bhajan, those will be so if we're attaching ourselves to something greater, something higher and higher, for developing higher taste, then what happens? Lower taste we can easily. Okay. So two types of restriction can restrict our senses in two types. First, are artificially.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry to interrupt, but we cannot hear you properly. Okay, Prabhuji's connection is bad. He's re-logging in. Thank you for your patience. Hare Krishna. Please fill your attendance forms till then if you all have not. Prabhuji is back.
Yes, Mataji, my voice was not, I think, the last part, something happened. No?
Yes, Prabhu, the last 4-5 sentences we couldn't make out in that slide.
So we were talking about artificial control. Okay, Mataji. So
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
let me try sharing the screen. So what is the meaning of those things? I was talking about two types of control of senses. Okay, first is artificially we are controlling the senses. That means we are not listening to any film song. We won't be doing. We won't be eating outside. We won't be eating other things like that. So many artificially we are trying to stop the senses. Okay, many people we won't be eating non-vegetarian food and those things. Okay, artificially we are trying to control the senses, and when they will see later the non-vegetarian food, when they will hear the film song, then fall down can happen anytime. So there is chance of fall down, too much chances of fall down if they're controlling the senses artificially. The second type of controlling is if we are engaging our senses to something greater. Something greater means if we are engaging our senses to something spiritual. If we are engaging our senses to some Krishna, then what will happen? The lower taste, and then after that, if we are attaching our senses to Krishna, then higher taste will develop. We are attached to some higher taste, then we will naturally we will leave the taste which is lower. So if we are attaching ourselves to Krishna, if we are listening to Krishna bhajan, then automatically, if we are enjoying the Krishna bhajan, automatically what will happen? This filmy song we won't be enjoying anymore. We won't find happiness in listening the film song. We will be attached to the Krishna song, Krishna bhajans only. Then we will be attached to Krishna bhajan like that. Okay. So if we are taking Krishna prasadam, automatically what will happen? We will have higher taste, and then we can leave the non-vegetarian food. So it will become so natural that you won't even believe that it has happened. So it is not like artificial. You don't have to endeavor too much. Just attach yourself to Krishna. Then detachment from the lower taste will automatically happen. So attachment, if you're attaching to Krishna, then detachment will come automatically. Okay, so this is the thing. So two types of restrictions, first and second. So one we can artificially control, or one we can control by attaching ourselves to Krishna. Okay, two types. So these were the slides. So in this slide, we have seen from here, we can see restricting from the senses. So in body, soul is there. So it can restrict from the sense enjoyment, first part. and the taste for the sense object remains. Then if you are restricting the sense enjoyment artificially, then what will happen? We can restrict, but taste for the sense object remains. Then automatically we can fall anytime. And if we are developing the higher taste by attaching ourselves to Krishna, then what will happen? Automatically loses the lower taste. So if lower taste is there, then we can automatically lose that taste. Okay, and if we are attaching to higher taste, then lower taste we can lose. And if you are restricting, artificially restricting the senses, then lower taste will remain. This is all that can happen anytime. Okay, and then if you're developing higher taste, you can develop fixed in the consciousness. Okay, Krishna consciousness. Two types. Vishwamitra is there. Okay, so Vishwamitra is there. So Menka, so he was trying to artificially control. So Menka came, and then Samadhi fall down happened. Okay, so fall down can happen anytime. The second time, devotees are there. Devotees are there. They're doing every work. They're doing the normal work also, but they are thinking of Krishna. Then automatically a lower taste is gone. Okay.
यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः.
Senses are so strong and impetus, Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So if you are very jnani, if you are very jnani, means if you are learned soul, if you are very jnani or even trying to control the senses artificially, then what will happen? The senses are so strong that fall down can happen anytime. Okay, so the senses are so strong and impetus, Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind. Even of a man of discrimination is learned man. Even learned man like Vishwamitra we have seen, he was a learned man. Okay, so even the mind of a learned man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So artificially controlling your sense, if you are controlling the senses artificially, fall down can happen anytime because senses are so strong. Okay, you cannot keep the senses open. You have to engage your senses somewhere. Otherwise, fall down can happen anytime. So where to attach your senses? Attach the senses to Krishna, so that you are leaving the lower taste. Okay, so senses are very strong and impetus. Okay, and they can forcibly carry away mind of man trying to control the even a learned man. So say Durvasa is there, Durvasa Rishi was there, say Vishwamitra there. So both were trying to control the senses artificially. Okay, and if the mind is engaged in Krishna service, sense gratification become distasteful. So you will automatically leave the sense gratification things. Okay, and then you can control the mind very easily because you don't have the taste now. You don't have the lower taste now. You have attached yourself to something higher taste. Okay, so example is Maharaja, please. Okay.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
One who restrained his senses, keeping them under full control, and then second part, fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as the man of steady intelligence. So Krishna is saying the controlling of senses is very, very difficult, Arjuna. If you're trying to control, even you have a learned man, you are trying to control the senses artificially, it is very, very difficult. But if you're trying to control the senses, and as well as you are trying to keep your consciousness upon me, you are doing the things in Krishna consciousness, then you are known as man of intelligence. Okay, then you are a Pragya. That is the thing. Try to control, but try to fix first. Otherwise, all done can happen anytime. Okay, try to engage your senses. Not like that you should stop the senses. Engage the senses. Okay, fully. That is called Yukta Vairagya. You have to engage your senses. Otherwise, anytime fall down can happen. Okay, man of extreme intelligence, these 10 senses keep them under full control. How? By constantly engaging all the senses in the service of Krishna. So if you are doing the service of Krishna, then all the senses are under control. Okay, and fixed consciousness upon Krishna, Paramatma burns up all the impurity of the heart. So if you are doing all the work under Krishna consciousness, all the impurity will burn from inside you, and you will become pure from the heart. Okay. So now it's 8 stages of fall down. So now Krishna was telling that if a man is trying to control his senses artificially, then fall down can happen. Now Krishna is describing the 8 stages of fall down. So how fall down happens. Okay, so Mataji, can you read?
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो विजायते.
Now Krishna is telling Dhyayato Vishaya Pumsa. So if we are contemplating on the object of senses, so senses are there and some object is there, like skin is there, then touch is the sense object. Okay, then the sense organ is like nose, then the smell is the object of the nose. Ear is there, then song, some bhajan, that is the object of the ear. Okay, object of the sense. Sense is ear, sense object is like song. Okay, skin is the sense, and the touch is the sense object. So while contemplating on the object of senses, that is Vishaya Pumsa. Okay, so if you are Dhyayato means if you are contemplating, if you are thinking about the object of senses, then what will happen? Sangha. So that will develop attachment. Okay, so if you are contemplating, then Sangha will develop. So it start with the contemplation of the object of senses, then it will develop attachment. So you will develop attachment with that object. Okay, then what will happen? From the attachment, lust will develop. Okay, so from the attachment, kama will develop. Okay, sangat sanjayate kama. So from the attachment, from the sangha, kama will develop. Kama is developing lust. So intense desire is called lust. So while you are contemplating on the object of senses, then gradually what will happen? You will become attached to the senses, and you gradually will become too much attached. That is called kama. That is called lust. From the lust, what will happen? Kama krodho abhijayate. So from the kama lust, from the kama krodh will develop. That is anger will develop. Okay, because your kama is not satisfied. So if kama has developed and that is not satisfied, then it will convert into krodha. Okay, and from krodha what happens? Let's see, Mataji.
क्रोधान् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति.
So krodha bhavati sammudha. So from krodha what will happen? Sammudha. Sammudha means delusion. Okay, so you can read here. From the anger, complete delusion arise. From the krodha, krodha will convert into delusion. Your mind will not able to think what is correct, what is not correct. Okay, and sammoha smriti vibhrama. So smriti, now your smriti is buddhi. So your memory is now bewildered. Okay, so from the sammoha, memory will be bewildered, and then from the if your memory is bewildered, then what will happen? From the memory, intelligence. So intelligence is also naso, buddhi naso. So from the this smriti vibhrama, buddhi naso will happen. That is your intelligence is also lost now. So from the anger, delusion arises. From the delusion, a bewilder of memory will happen, and from the bewilder of memory, intelligence is lost. Okay, and then when intelligence is lost, the buddhi nasa pranashyati. So now after your intelligence is lost, then what will happen? One fall down again into the material form. So this is the stages, 8 stages of fall down. Krishna was telling, if you are trying to control your senses artificially, then what will happen? You can fall down. Okay, so these are the 8 stages of fall down. So let's try to start the 8 stages. So first is the object of senses. So you are contemplating too much. You are thinking too much about the object of the senses. Okay, so let's try to understand it by like song is there, film song is there. Okay, you want to hear the song. So now you are contemplating about the song. So you are too much attached to the song. Then you are, if you are thinking about the song, then attachment will develop. Gradually, you will develop attachment, and from the attachment, lust will develop. Then your too much attachment develop, then that is converted to lust. Okay, and then from the lust, anger will develop. Okay, because if lust is not satisfied, then it will convert to anger. And when anger is there, your mind cannot think. Okay, so delusion. So now delusion, what is correct, what is not correct, that will arise. And from the delusion, bewilderment of memory. Okay, so now your memory is brushed up. Okay, then loss of intelligence. From the memory, loss of intelligence will happen. From the loss of, if the loss of intelligence happen, then it is the stage of fall. So you are now falling. So these are the 8 stages. Okay.
रागद्वेष विमुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवैषैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति.
But a person free of all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principle of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. Okay. So become free from the attachment and aversion and control your senses through regulative principle. Okay. So how does he walk? Walk means how does he? Where does he engage the senses? So how does he walk? Mataji, okay. So for one thus satisfied, the threefold misery of material existence no longer in such satisfied consciousness, one intelligence is well established. Okay. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Okay, so how does he work? He engages his senses in the Krishna consciousness. Okay. Now, let's try to read this. As the boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, you can see if strong wind is there, the boat will be going in that direction. Okay, so if a boat, as a boat on the water is swept by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away the mental. So there are 5 senses. Okay, so even one senses is enough for you to fall down. Okay, so even one of the senses on which mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. How it can carry away? How it can carry away? Like a boat, it can carry away like a wind, strong wind, which can carry away the boat. You can see strong wind is there, then boat can be like this, like this. So there is no fixed. Okay, it is not fixed. But so this wind is like even one senses. We have five senses. Okay, too much distraction is there. Even one senses is enough for our to fall down. Okay, so we have 5 senses. Controlling artificial control is too much difficult. The practical way is to engage in something higher. Okay, therefore Krishna is saying. So there is a wind example Krishna has given. So now he's saying, therefore, O mighty arm, one whose senses are restrained from their object is certainly of steady intelligence. Okay. So living entity is there, two types. Senses are restrained from the object of senses, then he is still steady intelligence. You can go from here. Okay. So living entity is there, senses are restrained from the object of senses. Okay. So senses are restrained from the object of senses, then this is called steady intelligence. Okay. And if one of the roaming senses, you are controlling the senses artificially, then carry away man's intelligence. So even one senses is also roaming, like wind. Okay. So it can carry away your intelligence. Okay. 2 types. Senses are restrained from the object of senses and steady intelligence. If senses are roaming, like even one sense is roaming, and then that will carry away the man's intelligence. So how to control the senses? Second part is senses engage in the service of Lord. Then senses are controlled. Okay? So you are artificially controlling. You are engaging the senses in the Lord's service. Okay? Practice under bona fide clue. So senses are restrained from the object. How? Practice under bona fide master called as sadhaka. So when you are practicing, that is called sadhaka. You are doing sadhana. Daily sadhana, we are sending you daily sadhana forms. Everyone should fill what are you doing in those days, so that we can understand what you are doing on those days. Okay, and how your sadhana is going on. Okay? Because this level 2 is for serious study. Okay? So if you are doing serious study, then this will affect your life also. So you should do the chanting also, whatever you are doing, you can put sadhana and sadhana chart and we can see. Okay.
या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः.
So when the normal person is sleeping, the intelligent person is waking up, and then when the intelligent person is waking up, sleeping, then other normal person, the material person is sleeping, like that. Okay. So what is night for all being is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all being is the night for the introspective sages. Okay. So let's see the meaning here. So living entity, there are two types of classes of intelligence: material activity for sense gratification, introspective senses. Sage is for the cultivation of self-relation. So material activity for sense gratification, these people activities are based on the material sense gratification. So the materialists, so their activities are based on sense gratification, the material sense gratification. The second part is the sages, so the cultivation of self-relation. Their activities are for the spiritual advancement. Okay, and they are not disturbed by the demands of the senses. So two types of intelligent people: one is the material people, one is the spiritual seekers. Okay, so spiritual seekers, what is day for the spiritual seekers? This is night for the materially advanced people. And what is night day for the materially advanced people? That is night for the spiritual seekers. Activities are like day and night, totally different. Okay. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desire that enters like rivers into the ocean, which is ever filled, ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace. Not the man who is trying to satisfy desire. So we should not try to, we should not run to satisfy the desires. We should keep our mind steady. We should engage ourselves in Krishna's service. Okay. A person who has given up all the desire for sense gratification, who lives free from the desire, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Okay?
येषा भ्रामि स्थिते पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं रक्षति.
That is the way of the spiritual and the godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. So if this sthit pragya situation is there, even at the time of death, then we will attain the kingdom of God. We will attain the Goloka. If you are thinking about Krishna whole life and you are remembering Krishna at the time of death also, then we will enter the Goloka. Krishna is saying, so if a person is there, sthit pragya person is there, his mind intelligence is fixed on Krishna, he is doing his work as well as he is attaching his mind and intelligence to Krishna, and this consciousness, if there at the time of death also, then he will enter the kingdom of God. Okay. What is our purpose of life? To enter into the kingdom of God. Krishna is giving in the second chapter only. You can see, second chapter is like summary of all the chapters. Okay. So Karma Kanda also, Dhyan Kanda also, Buddhi Yoga also, and about Sthit Pragya, that is Bhakti Yoga also Krishna has described. So all things Krishna has described very briefly here. Okay. And now Arjuna will be asking questions from the third chapter, and he will be asking more details about those chapters. Krishna will be describing. So all the chapters summary. This is called summary of the all chapters, summary of the Gita. The second chapter is called summary of Gita, because we have seen all the yogas there, and we have read about all the yogas. So small part we have read. Krishna described all the things. At last, Krishna described the also. Okay. So this is the description. 1 to 10, Arjuna is further out and is surrender. Then 11 to 30, Jnana. Jnana Yoga, that fight, there is no death for the soul. So this was the answer. This was the answer to the first question. First question was compassion. So this is the answer for the compassion. Fight, there is no death for the soul. This is the second answer, 31 to 38, Karma Kanda. So second question was enjoyment. So if you die during the battle, you will get the heaven. If you win this battle, then you will get the earthly kingdom. Third question was sin. Okay, so Krishna was saying that in this endeavor there is no love, so there is no sin. And if you are thinking of me and doing your duty, there is no sin, there is no pap, there is no punya, so there is no sin. Okay. Then the fourth question, then falling of the family tradition. Okay, loss of the family tradition. Krishna is giving. So if be an example, Arjuna, if you are leaving this war and you are going away, then people will think you as a coward. They won't think that you have left this war due to compassion and other things. They will think of you of coward. You have left this war because of fear. So those things won't give a good example to your family. So give them a good example. Be a good example for them so that they can follow you. Okay. Then this was the answer to the fourth. Okay. So this was in the section number two answers. Okay. And the last answer was indecision. Be a sthit pragya. Okay. Indecision, what to do, what not to do, what dharma, what is not dharma. Arjuna's question. So Krishna's answer: be a sthit pragya. Do whatever I am speaking. Whatever I am speaking, do that. So in that way, you become, your intelligence will be fixed. What is I am telling? Okay. So this way, yeah, this indecision is also answered. So these 5 questions has been answered by Krishna in the second chapter, and all the yogas have been also explained by Krishna in this chapter. So this is called summary of Gita. So this is all from my side. So let's read the question from the first part. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is said that soul is eternal and takes different birth. In other religions, the soul goes to hell or heaven. For Egyptian, the soul remains in the pyramid forever. Can we ever synchronize all these? Okay. The question is, some dharma says that soul after birth, after that there is no nothing. The soul will remain in the earth. Some dharma says soul will go to heaven or hell. Okay, like this. And some people will say that after this life, soul will go to Krishna Loka. So what happens? If you see the concept of religion, the concept is of religion is for the gradual elevation. Okay, so people who are too much materially engrossed, for them the religion is different religions are there. So different religions according to the different modes of people, different mode of people, different people who are residing at different places at the according to their stage. Okay, so different religions are there. So all religion will elevate you gradually. Okay, but for those people, you have already seen, we do not discuss too many things in level 1. Okay, too many things, too much discussion is not happening in the level 1. Why? If we are telling too much thing, if these things you should restrain, these things you should not follow, these things we are doing, if you are doing this, giving this knowledge to level 1, what will happen? They won't understand. Some gradual, some little bit of elevation is needed. After that, if you are giving other realization, then they will accept. Okay, so likewise in the religion also, the people who are too much engrossed, for them partial realization of God is there, like Brahman realization they are telling. So partial realization of God is there. Some people will think, if okay, the partial realization is there, then what will happen? The soul will merge in the supreme soul. There is no rebirth. So in the different religion, you will see there is no concept of rebirth. Okay, so there is no concept of rebirth. So after that, there is no concept of birth only. So they will think that okay, some energy there, we will merge into that energy. So partial relation is there for some people. Okay, if you can see a religion like Christianity, if you can see the religion of Muslims, then there is a concept of partial realization, not full realization. Full realization is not discussed in those religions because of the condition of the people. So, but they those religions also are meant for the elevation of the people, so that they can realize later what is the full realization, what is the full realization, what is the Bhagwan form. So this is the concept. So if you see, even the concept of heaven, even the concept of hell is in the Christianity, in the Muslim religions, even in the Hindu religions, and in the Sanatan Dharma, all of are saying about the hell, heaven. So so all are discussing about the heaven, hell up to that only. So that is partial relation. So if you want to elevate after those also, that you will find in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, in these, because these are full text. You can say full text. Okay. So that is the thing. So even this is not like if Quran is saying that this. There now concept of heaven and hell is there in also Quran. Concept of heaven and all is also in the Christianity. It is not like that heaven and hell is different from the Christians, heaven and hell is different from the Muslims, heaven and hell is different from the Sanatan Dharma people who are in, and the heaven and hell is different from the Swarg and Narak is different from the different for the people of the Hindu religion. It's not like that. It is same for all. Okay, but the name is different. Even the God is same. Even if you see in the Muslim preacher, there is the concept of preacher. Okay, Muhammad, who is Muhammad? He's a preacher. He doesn't say that I am God. He say I am the preacher of the God. I am the messenger of God. So God concept, God is not fully described there. So who is God for them? What we say Krishna, Krishna is also God for them also, but they are not fully, they are not aware. So that is the thing. If you see Christianity, there is concept of Jesus is there. He is saying I am son of God. He is not saying I am God. He is saying I am the son of God. I am server of God. Okay, so who is God for them? Who is God? God is Krishna only, but they are not realizing. So different people are thinking different way, but they are doing the same thing. They are different religions are trying to elevate the people so that they can gradually elevate, and then they can from that they will continue to the spiritual journey in the next like that. So gradual elevation. So the people who are still following their religion also, that religion also trying to elevate those people so that they can follow from that in the next life. Okay, so that's the concept of different religion.
Thank you. Thank you, Guru. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
So one question.
That was that Mataji's question, Prabhu.
Mataji's question. Which Mataji?
Prasanna Mataji.
Yes, thank you. I have one more question also. Can I ask you?
Now, 2-3 questions are there, Mataji. We'll cover that, then we'll take. Okay, Mataji.
Okay.
Who protects a living being in life? His karma, his dharma, or Shri Krishna? Okay, so Krishna is only protector. So whatever karma you are doing, you will have to release the result. Okay, if you are doing good karma, you will release the punya karma, punya result. Or if you are doing the pap karma, then you will have the bad results. Okay, so those karma you will have to release. So who is the protector? The answer will be Shri Krishna. Krishna will depend. It depends on Krishna's mercy. Okay. So if we surrender ourselves to Krishna, Krishna will protect. Third question: what is self-realization? Are we in our material body able to attempt or achieve it? How do we go about it? So self-realization meaning is self. What is the meaning of self? What is us? Okay, so who are we? We are this body, or we are this soul. Okay, so that is the meaning. Self-realization is who are we? We are this body, or we are this soul. Acha, we are this soul. So what is the connection of this body, soul, with the super soul? So what is that connection? And who is the super soul? Okay, who is the supreme personality of Godhead? So these are the things. These questions are called self-realization. So what is our position with the relation to the supreme personality of Godhead? That is called self-realization. Okay, so our position is we are servant of Krishna. So we should serve Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. So that is called self-realization. Okay, one more question was there. This. Are we in our material body able to attempt or achieve it? Yes, we are able to attain or achieve it. That is called. That's why we are reading the Bhagavad Gita. Only human body can have this intelligence to differentiate between the self and the non-self. The self, the body, and the soul. Only human being can differentiate. Other species of life, like animal, like dog, they cannot differentiate. So in our material body, we will be able to differentiate if we are in God and if we have any bona fide guru, if we have any bona fide source. How do we go about it? So surrender yourself to Guru and gradually surrender yourself. So that is the later chapter. Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. So these three things. Pranipatena, surrender yourself to a Guru. Pariprashnena, inquire from him submissively, and Sevaya, service, give service to him. So these are the how do we get how do we go about it, this answers. Okay. In the verse 2.1, there is mention of real self. What is the real self and false self? So what is real self? What do you think yourself? When you think yourself as a body, that is false self. Real self is when you think yourself as the soul. It's at the part and parcel of Krishna. That is called the real self. Okay. And what about the ego, real and false ego? So ego means realization. Ego means identity. Okay. So when you think yourself as body, that is called false ego. When you think that I have this property, I have this knowledge, I have this property, I'm too much intelligent. So these things, if you're considering according to your body, that is called false ego. And when you think yourself as Krishna's servant, okay, I'm Krishna's servant. I'm doing service for Krishna. These things, if you're identifying yourself as Krishna's servant, that is at the level of soul, that is called real ego. Okay, so that is true ego, real ego. So this is the answer. All the questions are answered. Amataji, you can ask a question.
Namaste, Guruji. See, you see, real self. No, whatever that is, you say, na, the Sthita Prajna and controlling the senses, removing the ego, and attainment of Lord Krishna. All these things. See, actually, in even if you practice, see, we are not. We are living in a society where we are dealing with different types of people. Okay, so when living in society, I will have a chance of shouting at my son, being very harsh with my son. Sometimes I have to be very strong with my husband. At the same time, I have to be with thing. And sometimes my ego also. That is, if I keep my ego less, naturally there will be people who will shout at me and all. So how to synchronize? That is, say everything is Lord Krishna. It is very easy if I stay in one ashramam and without any responsibilities. If I stay in ashramam, yes, every day morning doing the puja of Lord Krishna, giving naivedyam to him, singing his chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavatam, etc., etc. Yes, very fine. But in a society where there are so many egocentric and so many people, I'm finding it very difficult. Even if I think that I should not get angry, one time or the other, I definitely get. And I don't know how this Sthita Prajna and that is, say, what are the ways? That is, I want the practical ways of getting things. See, it's very easy to say in the theory book, saying you have to control your senses, you have to control this, you have to like this. But I want the practical actions of how to behave. That is the one favor which I expect from people. That is, we are living in a society where I'm dealing with different types of people. That's the main reason.
Okay. So, Mataji, your concern is how to practically apply the things we are reading. Okay,
yes, exactly.
That is what is I have understood till now, that how to apply this concept in your life. Okay, Mataji.
Yes.
So,
yes, exactly.
Yeah. First thing is, this is a gradual process. Not like that. If you are reading Bhagavad Gita, next day you are changed. Not like that. So this is a very gradual process. It may take one life. It may take 2 life. It may take 1 day. It may take 10 days also. It may take 1 year, 2 year, or 1 life, 10 year life, 10 life, that also. Okay. So what is this process is very, very gradual. First thing is this. So you can be very fast. You can be very slow, like that. So how to apply those things? That is the question. So first thing is, there are methods are there. Okay, so what are the methods? You should apply your senses in the service of Krishna. So when you are living in the society, when you are when you are living in the society, the first these steps, ABCD steps is the most basic steps. Okay, so every devotee starts from that step. Okay, so what is the first step? That A is for association. So when you are living in the association of devotee, then you will know how these devotees are working in different conditions, how these devotees are working there. So many elevated devotees I have met. I have personally met many elevated devotees who are living this life of Bhagavad Gita in their life. Okay, so it is not like that. It is not practical. It is totally theoretical. It is not like that. Okay. So I have seen personally people who have been living this life in their life. Okay. So I get inspiration from them. So how to apply those things when we have association of such devotees, then we can see. Then they are motivated for us that okay, this thing is not totally impractical. We can apply those things totally in our life. Okay. So first thing is association. So when we see people who are applying those things in their life, then we get motivated. First thing is it. And when we are surrounded with the people who are of material mentality, then we will have too much. Sometimes we will have faith. Sometimes we will forget our faith. Okay. So when we are associating with the people with material mentality, there are very chances that if our faith is not fixed, our faith is not firm, then fall down can happen anytime. So this is the thing. So when we are surrounding ourselves with the materially minded people, then material fall down is very, very natural. Okay. So try to associate with the devotee. Okay. We have family, we have kids, we have relatives, we have family members, we have to serve them. This is for our body. Try to elevate themselves also. Try to elevate them also. Try to give them Krishna consciousness also. Then if this environment is there in your house, it is very natural to person to do all the services, all the duty very naturally. This is my personal experience. Okay, so if you're a wife and your husband is also Krishna conscious, this is very easy to practice Krishna consciousness. If I am a man and if my wife is also Krishna consciousness, she is also doing services, she is also cooking for Krishna, she is making prasadam for Krishna, then I'm eating prasadam. Then gradually you will notice that these things are becoming very, very natural to practice in the daily life. Okay, and these things are very, very practical. This is not like that. This is not practical. Try to. So it will take time. Try to give them Krishna consciousness. Try to make your family Krishna conscious. Try to make the family environment Krishna conscious, because for a female, uh, uh, the duty is to serve the family and to make the child, the responsibility of child is more on the mother side. Okay, so
Yes, exactly.
yeah, the duty, the foremost duty of a wife, of a mother, is to elevate the son as elevate the son in the devotional life, to make him Krishna conscious. This is the foremost duty. Okay, so there are many prescribed duty for men, that if you are a Kshatriya, you do this. You are a Brahmana, you do this. If you are a Vaishya, you do this. If you are a Shudra, you do this. But for women, taking care of family life and making the child Krishna conscious, making the child devotee is the foremost duty. If she is successful in doing this, she is like she is doing his her devotional service like that. Okay, so whatever we have seen many duties, that Kshatriya has this duty, Vaisya has this duty, all those are mostly applied to men. Women's duty to serve the family, serve the child, give the favorable Krishna conscious environment in the home. That is the main purpose of the females in the family life. So practically, if you see, if this type of environment is there, so it won't happen that if you started reading Bhagavad Gita, your family will change. Not like that. So it will be gradual process. Try to give them, your focus will be to give them Krishna consciousness, elevate themselves, elevate them, and make your family Krishna consciousness. Then what will happen? This bhakti process will become so easy, Mataji. This will become so natural that you won't even notice that other things are happening. Okay, you will forget all other things. Only Krishna will be in the center. When Krishna is in the center, okay, then all things become synchronized. When husband is thinking different thing, wife is thinking different thing, son is thinking different thing, then it becomes very, very difficult. So if If the center of the family is Krishna, that family is called Krishna conscious family. Okay, the, that in that doing bhakti is very very natural. Okay, Mataji. So A we have read. B is Bhagavad Gita reading. So try to read Bhagavad Gita daily. Try to make your child read Bhagavad Gita daily. Try to read, make your husband Bhagavad Gita read daily. So if you're reading Bhagavad Gita daily, you're discussing about sloka, then it become a very very natural process. C is the chanting. So we are emphasizing from the first day of the level 1 that we should chant. We should chant. What happens after chanting? If we chant regularly, then what will happen? Gradually, pureness will happen in our heart. Okay, will become pure. Gradually, will become pure, okay, from inside. Then what will happen? Then, if purity is there, we could understand. We could follow those principles very, very naturally. Okay, so those things are there. And D is for diet. So this is also very, very important. Whatever we eat, our consciousness become according to that. So try to eat sattvic food. Try to eat the food which is offered to Krishna first. Try to eat the prasadam. Then you will see this process uh, fast tense. Okay, so you can see if you are following these processes, then you will see that how to apply those principles in your life. So it is not practically impossible thing. I have seen many people. You will also see if you attach to some devotees like that. Okay, Mataji. I think
Thank you.
this
Thank you,
answers your
Prabhuji.
question, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Nanita Mataji, you have also any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for a very nice class. Again, Prabhuji, I'm a little confused. We commit so many sins and offenses, and our mind is so distracted and uncontrollable, like the wind you had said. But we also have been given some intelligence and some knowledge. What are we using the intelligence and knowledge for? Are we using it at all?
So, Mataji, Krishna said that we have independence also. Okay, we have independence. We have, if you see the chapters of Bhagavad Gita, there is divine qualities mentioned, there is demonic quality mentioned. Okay, so there are things like divine quality, demonic quality. So you will surprise how the demonic people are accepting demonic qualities. If the divine qualities, the people should accept the divine quality. Why they are accepting demonic quality? Why the demonic quality exists? Because of this only. Because of the only thing is independence. So Krishna has given us independence. So Jiva, all Jivas are independent. Some people will come to this class. Some people will go to watch movie in the theater. So there is independence. Okay, you have a little bit of independence from which you are choosing where to go, whether to attend the class, whether to go uh, for the movie. So some independence we have. So to use that independence, we need intelligence. Okay. So if you don't have the intelligence, you will go to cinema. Or if you have the correct intelligence, you will come to the class like that. So to use that intelligence, we should read Shastra. So Shastra will give us what is correct, what is not correct, what is true, what should be done, what should not be done, what is our dharma, what is not our dharma. So Shastra will tell us that what we should do. So proper utilization of independence can happen if you sharpen your intelligence. So to sharpen your intelligence, you have to read Shastra, you have to associate devotee, you have to read Bhagavad Gita, you have to chant, and you have to take like sadhana. So ABCD you have to follow so that you can sharpen your intelligence. You can serve Krishna by your intelligence. In that way, you can utilize this independence correctly. Okay, Mataji. So we all have given independence, but we are not sharpening our intelligence. Okay, Mataji.
Prabhu, so we use our intelligence. If we use it properly,
we think, yeah, we have the intelligence, but we are not sharpening the intelligence. We are not knowing only what is correct, what is not correct. So we are going to the wrong way. Okay, Mataji.
so we are misusing it. And
Yeah,
if we develop our knowledge, perhaps we can use our intelligence in some correct way. Is it
Yes.
like that, Prabhu?
That knowledge associated with the devotion. So if only the knowledge is there. So Krishna was telling in this chapter only, Mataji. So even greater devotee also, they can fall down because senses are so strong. So knowledge with devotion, both things are required. So only knowledge if you are developing and you are not doing devotional service, any time can fall down happen. Okay, you have seen Vishwamitra, the example that even the greatest physical fall down because they don't have the devotion. So even if you are accumulating knowledge, along with the knowledge, you should start doing the devotional service. So devotion associated with the intelligence, then things will go in the correct direction. Okay, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other question? Jigna Mataji, chanting is the solution to find peace in everywhere, to control the desires. Yes, chanting is the basic, very basic step and very, very powerful step. Okay. It is not like very basic, then we can leave. No, no, it is very powerful. The Yug Dharma. Okay. It is called as Yug Dharma. Chanting is the Yug Dharma for this age.
Prabhuji, may I ask you one last question, please?
Oh, Prasanna Mataji, acha, this question I have. A person in full control of Indriya, and is that the pragya? Is there any example of person in the corporate world? The corporate world, we have seen that Amrish Prabhu is there. Okay, he is making TOEP. So probably I will tell you after some classes. Amrish Prabhu is there. He is the proprietor of the Ford company, the company which makes the Ford car. Okay, that is very very famous all over the world. And he is a very nice devotee. He is serving ISKCON from the very very earlier days, and he is developing the TOVP temple in the Mayapur. So you can see many examples are there who are correctly using them even in the corporate world. They're using. Yeah, any other question? So
Prabhuji, what is
good question? Many good questions are coming. I am happy because these questions are fully these questions are I can say that people are understanding the topic. That's why they are shifting the question to this way. Okay, that how to understand, how to apply those things in the life. Okay, how to understand those things. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
last one, Prabhu? What is the meaning of embodied soul?
Embodied soul, the soul which has got this body. Okay, that is called embodied soul.
That is all of us.
Yeah, we are embodied soul in this world.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So, Mataji, any announcement about the sadhana chart or any announcement about the level 2 pages?
Prabhuji, it's a little disappointing. Only 18 people have filled the sadhana chart.
Okay. So all of are not filling. So it is very important to fill the sadhana chart. How you are doing sadhana. So even I explained the Bhagavad Gita in very detail, and you are not applying those details. If you are not applying those things in your life, you are not chanting. There is no meaning of it. Nothing can happen. Nothing will change. Okay. Even nothing. I'm telling you, nothing will happen if you are not doing your sadhana. Okay. Try to do your sadhana so that you can know you are doing. So that try to be regular in your sadhana and try to fill that sadhana form. Okay. So there is nothing like if you are reading only, you are accumulating the knowledge, and there is nothing application of that. Okay, then nothing will happen. Okay. So try to apply those things also in your life. Then only you will be able to understand Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Any announcement of the quiz, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji. Most people are very nice devotees. They're all doing the quiz. They finished chapter 1, most of them.
So today chapter 2 is finished. So we'll start chapter 3 tomorrow.
Yes.
Half of chapter 3 will finish. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm unmuting everything.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
you
you.
for the
Hare
class,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you
Hare
very
Krishna
much.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Gita Mataji helped
Hare
us
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
to do
Prabhuji.
that quiz. Thank you, Nandita Mataji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Nandita Mataji. Thank you, Chitra Mataji.
Most
Hare
welcome,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class and your time. We're very grateful.
Very nice,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you very much. And answers are also very good. Thank you very much. And I